Okay, my name is Patrick Lohr, and I advise for a company named BumpTop. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before, but this is the master's project of a very talented U of T graduate student named Anand Agarwala. So if we take a look at the BumpTop website here, just real quick, you can see that if you want to see the real version of this, Anand actually spoke at TED, a really super important, super high-end conference. Bill Clinton was on the same stage, Richard Branson was on the same stage. So we've been to some pretty important conferences presenting what I'm about to show you in a very much like a kind of a second-rate kind of fashion. Here is the YouTube video that kind of started it all. So kind of gives us all a little lesson in how to get the word out there. This YouTube video was posted about a year and a half ago. Got over, this one in particular has gotten over 2 million views, but others have posted to it. So others have posted the same video. So we've seen this. I think we've seen this video go over 3 million views. It's the number one viewed software video or software interface video on YouTube. So pretty amazing stuff. So that's how it all got started. And so ever since then, Anand's been touring the world showing his software off. And I'd just like to show you the latest version of what we have. This version just went public last week. We took it public last week at Wired Next Fest in Los Angeles. And here it is. So this is your standard Windows desktop. And the way we look at it is that it's just, the Windows interface really hasn't changed for the last 30 years. It's the same old mouse, pointer, icons kind of stuff. And this may or may not be all that intuitive for a lot of users. So what Anand's done is taken BumpTop and added some physicality to it. So this looks, acts, feels like your regular desktop. So let me show you what I mean. You can take an icon and start pushing it around, and it's a 3D based gaming engine that's behind it. So I can take this and I can start pushing other icons around as if they had physicality to them, just like your regular desk. If I took something and decided to throw it across the desk, it actually flows across the desk and actually bumps into things. Just as in the real world, you can take something and you can make it, if things were bigger, they actually bump into things a lot easier and crash around a lot easier with a lot more weight than other objects do. And if I take a smaller object and try to throw it up against it, it has a much harder time moving it around. If I wanted to create some organization out of this mess, I can take a pile of icons that kind of makes sense to make a pile out of them and do a quick lasso movement here, cross the middle, and actually get a neat pile out of it. And I can throw other objects towards that pile and start going right to the top here. So, and as you can see, every time I toss a little document towards that file, it gets a little bit bigger. If I wanted to leaf through this file, I can just click on here and start leafing through it like it was a magazine. I can wind it out like it was a deck of cards. I can view it in grid mode for those of us who like a little more organization. And I can also break that apart and take a look at it. There are walls on this application, so I can take things and I can pin them up to the wall and treat it like it was a poster. And in future versions, we're going to have this so that you can customize these walls with posters just to make it a little more lifelike. A couple of the other organizational features in here is that I can take this and I can actually take a folder and I can expand it into a pile and start looking through these again as if it were a magazine, and I can also break that pile apart. And this works just like a regular Windows desktop in that if you double click on this, it'll pop open into Windows Viewer. So, so this is where we've got the software thus far. We've also created, by popular demand, a photo sorting application. So pretty much the same thing as BumpTop regular version on the desktop, except we're using it to sort photos. So I can take this photo and I can make it bigger. And once it's bigger, it can boss all the other documents around. Let's resize that one and just make it a little bit smaller. And so the application we think here is just for quick sorting. So there's a very visceral feel towards sorting photos on your kitchen desktop. So take a shoebox full of photos, start tossing them into piles that kind of make sense to you. Again, just a very visual sort without having to create folders. We did a little research when we were down in the valley. We were talking to some of the people who designed iPhoto and Picasa, and they were saying that a lot of photographers are actually printing out slides of their photos on paper and actually sorting them on their light tables. So just to get that feel for sorting, because they can't get the same feel on the computer. And we're hoping to bring that interface, that same kind of physical interface to your computer. So again, same kind of features. I can take this, I can do a quick pile here, go through, sort my photos. I can also do a couple of, there's also a couple of quick gestures that we've created for touch, for tablet PCs. So just by brushing across, stroking across, we can go forward on the photos. That's BumpTop's founder, by the way. And then if I stroke back in the opposite direction, it'll just go backwards. And then a quick stroke down is moving into the regular mode again. I have a little bit of latency on that.
3 more minutes.
Okay. I think I'm pretty much done. So that's BumpTop. We are currently in development. We're going to be in beta within the next month, and so if you're interested, go to BumpTop.com, and there is a sign up for a beta program, and I can take questions right now. King.
Yeah, so I was wondering, after somebody uses your sorting interface to sort photos, what do you expect them to do with the photos after that?
Good question. We're actually talking to a variety of partners. One of the possibilities is to connect this to printers, and so you can imagine one of the walls or one of the bins in the interface being a printer icon, or being a service bureau icon, where you could just dump all your good photos into that bucket or onto that wall, and having those photos printed, right, or sent to your printer. Right? So that's one of them. The other possibilities are to create shared BumpTop rooms. So what will end up happening is that you may contribute some photos, your friend may contribute some photos, and you can create some group community albums in which you can arrange in certain orders or certain layouts. And so one of the most powerful features that we think we can bring together in the BumpTop interface is collaboration and sharing. John, you have one?
Yeah, I just had a couple of comments. I don't see why it should be restricted to just icons and photos. You could easily open it up to movies, games as another example. So I'm really encouraged by what I see here. The other application that I hope you guys are investigating is Microsoft Surface, because it seems to me like this would be a natural application for that type of medium, which is the sort of desktop environment for manipulating these types of things. You mentioned the photographers printing out slides example. You can do that in a digital format using technology like that. But yeah, I've seen this demo many times. It's always impressive to see live. So.
Yeah, and by the way, we're going to go out for beers afterwards, so we'll have the computer around. Feel free to tap me on the shoulder. We'll play around with this. So the main difference between where the demo was, where you saw the video of a year or so ago, is that this is actual working software. So there's actually So when you look at this and you compare it to this, right, it's the same thing, right? So you notice how this desktop is different because I broke apart the file and actually, or broke apart that folder and created a pile here, right? And so it's actually mimicking the exact same thing, right? So, Brian.
How does it interact with folders and like the trash bin?
So this is the folder. So this is.
Make a call a folder file.
Yeah, so I can make this.
So you saw the desktop before with all the pictures on it. Now you can make this a folder.
Right. So I can folderize this, right? And it just creates a
Go
folder.
back to the desktop.
Right. And so, yeah, if I go back to the desktop, it actually created a folder.
How does like, do you drag stuff into the folder? Does it go directly into it? Like, can you
If you
drag
open the
something
folder
else
on
and
the
drop
desktop.
it in there? Will it go in or?
Actually, right now it doesn't allow for that. So right now they get treated.
Thumbs away.
Get in there, get in there. They won't get in there, no matter how hard you try.
What you could do actually is you unpile that right now, and then you can put it in, and even when you unpile it here, it doesn't actually extend it over the desktop until you extend the folder.
Correct. So until you break it apart, right? So there's some interaction stuff that we have to play with, for sure. So now if I wanted to create a folder out of that, right, I can create a folder there, or I can create a pile, and then I can folderize it. And there we go. Tough question, Brian.
Hey,
Patrick, so is the plan to sell the software to the user or to actually get big guys like John's company, Microsoft, buy you guys?
Microsoft already came with an offer for $100 million, and we turned it down. No, they didn't. Yeah, you know, we think that Microsoft and Apple have seen this video obviously for the last year and a half, and I think both companies have borrowed from it liberally, as have other companies. So this serves as inspiration to the big guys, and you know, I think there's various revenue possibilities. So one of them being you can sell software. We think there's certain pieces of functionality that you would buy the software for, and others are we're looking at a variety of different kind of UI type applications. So you can imagine where those are, right? Anywhere where there's touch, you know. So John mentioned Surface, right? So we imagine that there's licensing possibilities into any of those channels.
Licensing portion of the functionalities to different people.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. David?
Can you name those piles?
You can't right now. So that's all stuff that we're working on right now. So you're seeing an alpha version of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you switching to the desktop, or can you take it somewhere to the level and the
Right now, the demo is desktop level only. So when you go level deep, it kind of breaks down.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're hoping to build integration into this so that it does get a level deeper. So right now, when I click on this, it opens. You move back into the Vista, the beautiful Vista. Okay.
Well, the thing is,
I don't know why John still talks to me. It's hacking all the time.
Right?
What's that?
Level you never have to read.
Right. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think for future versions we're going to integrate it so that it does look a little bit deeper. Allison.
This is really interesting from the visual appeal in itself. I think it's being very popular with individuals. How would you market this to companies to find that selling a lot of software?
What's interesting about this company, and the reason why I chose to advise for it, is that companies are actually coming to us on this, right? So we haven't had to place any outgoing calls on this, which is just amazing. So we've had every major movie studio call us. We've had every major Silicon Valley major software operating system, Web 2.0, what have you kind of company call us and ask us to go and present either for inspiration or either for business partnership discussions. So I don't think it's going to be a huge worry as far as finding distribution partners go, and that's probably going to be the #1 plan, is to, since this is going to be a small kind of entrepreneurial bootstrap venture, we're going to look towards partners to help us distribute this thing.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Patrick.
Thank you.